geschehen. Und wie viele erwarten wir noch? Da kommen schon einige.
Ja, einige kommen schon, aber vielleicht diese Freunde, die hier gerade sind, sie können einfach also Namen und Ort, woher sie sind, einfach sagen. Und dann kennen wir auch vielleicht einander ein bisschen so.
Ja, dann können wir uns besser einander kennen.
Und dann wissen sie auch Bescheid, woher sie eigentlich kommen. Jemand ist vielleicht in Lucknow, jemand ist in Kerala. Das ist wirklich sehr schön zu hören. Also, Anil oder Amitabh, Sie können schon beginnen. Bitte. Ich heiße Devkaran und ich bin hier in Jaipur. Bitte schon.
Guten Tag, guten Tag. Ich heiße Amitabh Joshi und ich bin hier in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh.
Sehr schön. Ja, Anil, Maitri, Anjali, Ankush.
Ja,
Bitte.
ja, guten Tag, ich heiße Anjali, ich wohne in Bhopal.
Bhopal.
Nein.
Bitte.
Guten Tag, ich bin Ankush, ich wohne in Delhi.
Aha.
Guten Tag, ich bin Vivek, ich wohne in Pune.
In?
Guten Tag, ich heiße.
Okay.
Guten Tag, ich heiße Divya, ich wohne in Prayagraj.
Prayagraj. Aha.
Hallo. Ich heiße Sonu, ich wohne in Gandhinagar, aber ich bin jetzt meine Heimatstadt Jaipur in Bihar.
Aha, wunderbar. Und Anil?
Ja, hallo zusammen. Guten Tag. Ich heiße Anil und ich komme aus Bangalore, Karnataka und zurzeit wohne ich in Dortmund, Deutschland.
Oh,
Danke.
sehr schön. Barkha?
Guten Tag, ich heiße Barkha, ich komme aus Lucknow.
Yuvraj? Shubham?
Guten Tag, Herr. Ich heiße Yuvraj. Ich komme aus Nagar und ich wohne in Jaipur.
In Jaipur, okay, wunderbar. Reena, Shubham?
Guten Tag, ich bin Shubham, ich lebe in Pune, Maharashtra.
Alles
Guten
klar.
Tag, mein Name ist Rina, ich wohne in Bangalore.
Bengaluru, okay. Und Barkha?
Ja, guten Tag. Können Sie mich hören?
Ja, gut. Wunderbar, können wir hören. Bitte.
Ja, ich heiße Barkha, ich komme aus Lucknow.
Okay. Und?
Hallo,
Ja, Manish.
guten Tag, ich heiße Manish, ich wohne in Jaipur.
Wunderbar. Und Shubham hat schon, oder? Shubham?
Yes, aber ich bin
Aha.
Shubham und ich komme aus Pune.
Pune. Alles klar. Ja, ich denke, alle haben sich ein bisschen vorgestellt. Okay, gut. Yes, Sir. Wie die Freunde, Herr Professor, vielleicht die Freunde kennen schon.
Also wie die anderen das gemacht haben, stelle ich mich auch ganz kurz vor. Ich heiße Murthy und komme aus Hyderabad. Und ich wohne auch in Hyderabad.
Und seit mehr als 40 Jahren sind Sie tätig als Lehrer und nette Person. Ja, das ist ja wirklich uns sehr wichtig.
Das ist
Bitte.
nett von dir zu sagen, aber naja. So,
Bitte.
ich möchte gleich mit meinem Vortrag für heute beginnen. Ich habe das auf Deutsch zusammengefasst. Und ich möchte auch wissen, ob ich den ganzen Vortrag auf Deutsch halten solle oder teilweise Deutsch, Englisch und Hindi.
Ich denke, also teilweise wäre das noch besser. Oder vielleicht mehr Deutsch und dann ein bisschen Hindi, Englisch auch vielleicht. Meiner Meinung nach. Also die Hauptsache ist, dass wir gut verstehen, alle. Da die Studenten haben auch unterschiedliche Niveaus, dann das wäre nett. Ja.
So, Gibt es hier auch A1, diejenigen, die gerade mit A1 angefangen haben?
Ich denke nicht. Also, ich checke mal. Ja, nein.
Gibt es hier jemanden, der gerade mit A1 angefangen hat?
Nein, ich denke A2 und B1, B2.
Auch C1.
Ja, auch C1. Ja,
C1 ist auch hier. Okay.
klar, Anil ist auch da. Bitte.
So, das geht dann mit ein bisschen mehr Deutsch. Also
Ja.
40% vielleicht, 30 bis 40% Deutsch und dann teilweise Englisch und dann auch
Ja,
Hindi.
genau.
Also ich kann das auch in anderen Sprachen, den Vortrag hatte, aber leider bin ich nicht so fließend in den anderen Sprachen. Und das geht nicht.
Klar.
So, jetzt, was macht man dann? Also Present Now. Das muss ich jeden Tag im Kopf behalten. So ist das. Bitte sagt mir, ob ihr alle meinen Bildschirm, also mein Screen, ob ihr alle dann meinen Bildschirm sehen könnten. Geht es?
Ja, sehr schön.
Wir können ja gut sehen.
Screen, all of you. Gibt es hier jemanden, der den Bildschirm nicht sehen kann? Is there anybody here who can't see the screen?
Ja, wir können sehen.
Okay. So, ich habe meinen Vortrag heute so wie es hier steht, überschriftet. The Music of Speech. Und das klingt ein bisschen besser, denn Musik ist liegt sehr nah an meinem mouth is something different. E, it, it. Yeah. One minute with the book, yeah. Man hört den Lehrer gut zu und dann man nachahmt diesen Laut. You imitate this word. Man imitiert diesen Laut. So. A, O, O und U. This is how our lips look like when we pronounce these sounds, the vowels. Aber it's not just the lips alone. Also es geht nicht nur um die Lippen. Es geht auch darum, wie man die Zunge, how your tongue inside is also placed. And we'll come to that very quickly. So there are certain sounds called diphthong, and diphthong is a combination of two vowels like EI, AU. There are such vowel combinations which are there in the word auch, AU zum Beispiel, would be a diphthong. So, I, au, oi, and basically these three. Now look at English. It's written as B-A-D-E, but pronounced as beide, E-I. Bide. You bide your time. Bound. In respect. Void. So this diphthong again, the pronunciation has to be perfect. Bade and bide, if you look at these two here, A and I, you cannot interchange them, otherwise the meaning changes. What are the main active places which are active organs, active parts of the body which are used for your Artikulation? Also wo wird es artikuliert? Ganz aktiv. Unterlippe, the lower lip, Zungenspitze, the tip of the tongue, Zungenblatt, the flat surface of the tongue, vordere Zungenrücken und hintere Zungenrücken. The tongue, the middle, and at the back. Zungenwurzel, that is right at the base of the tongue. This is for German. Then your Stimmlippen, your glottis or your vocal cords. But are these the only organs involved in producing sound? Nein. Es gibt auch diese Organe in dem menschlichen Körper. Und mit diesen Organen als passive Artikulatoren stellen wir diese deutsche Laute her oder die Laute Irgendeiner beliebigen Sprache her. Out of these, what are these here? The upper lip. The lower lip is movable. It's the lower jaw that can move, not the upper jaw. The upper teeth are used. Sandam, that is your alveoles just behind your teeth. Then your roof of the mouth. It's called the palate. Then the soft palate a little further to the back. Then comes the uvula, that is that part that is hanging in the throat. Then the throat itself, the pharynx, is also where is used to produce the sound kh, or the sound gham in Urdu. Gham ka mara hai. It's not gum ka mara hai. Kaun sa gum? Camel gum. It's not that gum. But gham, that comes from the pharynx. It's an Urdu word. So even this part of the body is used to produce a letter, a sound that is verständlich, comprehensible. So naturally the larynx here and your Stimmlippen, that is your vocal cords. Now I would like here to first, do you have pens and papers with you, all of you? Do you have a pen and paper?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then I'm going to read out some words. Would you tell me what you heard? You'll have to depend on my spelling for the moment, unfortunately. I have a slightly oldish software, so I can't keep this active, the screen active. I have to disconnect. Is my screen visible? No. Don't you mind screens again? My Bildschirm? No. Okay.
No.
Right. Now I'm going to call out a few words, and you have to depend on my pronunciation. And I like to think, you have to allow me that, indulge me in that my pronunciation is as good as that of a German. So please write down a few words I'm going to call out. Let's see whether you get the words correctly. I'll call them out twice. If you want, I can make it 3 times. But I'll call them out twice. Tune. Dune. 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 Füllen. Füllen. Fühlen. Fühlen. Stehlen. Stehlen. Stellen. Stellen. Beten. Beten. Betten. Betten. Heute. Heute. heute, heute, mein, kein, Ziege, Ziege, Züge, bitte, biete, Mitte, Mitte, Miete, and the last pair, often, often, Ofen, Ofen, done all of you? Okay, so jetzt wieder zum Screen Sharing, and hopefully you people have been able to write it down. It's for your own benefit and practice and fun. So ich mache wieder mein Screen Sharing hier. Ja. Is it okay? Könnt ihr mein Screen sehen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, da gehen wir dann jetzt weiter. Einen Moment. Ja, so. Tune, tune. Did you get it right? Füllen, fühlen. Stehlen, stellen. Beten, betten. Heute, heute. Ah, this is more like a. And U zusammen. And U zusammen will become a little different from this oi. Quality wise. Hoi, ho, heute, heute, oi. Oi and hoi. Heute, heute. And then the word here I gave you was mine and kein. I, I, and I. Mine, kein. Then I give you this word here. Ziege, Z, and then U umlaut, Ü. Sie, Zü. bitte, biete. Mitte, Miete. Und dann am Ende habe ich gesagt, offen, offen, Ofen. How many of you got how many correct? Where did you have problems? Even if you're not written down, which words did you have problems with?
Sir, ich habe Problem, einige Wörter, ich weiß nicht. Okay,
Ja.
zum Beispiel, ich weiß Männer, aber ich weiß nicht so Männer. Ja, ich
Yeah,
weiß
but
nicht.
the problem here, Anil, is this is man and this is man. Both are pronounced literally the same way. There's a small quality difference here, mena, mena. And this is main.
Okay.
So, das ist dann, was ich meine, Hörtraining. Wenn man das richtig hört, weiß man das Wort. Man bekommt das Bild dieses Wortes hier im Gehirn. Immediately the picture springs up. Main. Und dann hier Männer. Heute, oi, und dann, I told you, A umlaut, and then the U, A. And so there you pronounce this A and O together, diphthong, heute. Haut und heute. It sounds so close to this EU, that can cause a problem. Similarly, mein und kein auf dieser Seite. Und dann auch hier. So. Oh, where are we? Hier. Bitte, biete. Also das ist nicht nur es geht nicht nur um die Umlaute, es geht um die Vokalen. Im Deutschen gibt es diese 5 Vokale. There are 5 vowels in German. A, E, I, O, U. That's all. There are no other vowels in German. And you have to use these vowels in a sentence in combination with other letters of the alphabet. And it is a spelling of this word that tells you whether vowel is long or short. Is the short bitte or is it a long biete? Is it a short mitte or is it a long miete? Offen or offen? Is it bait or bet?
So long
Yeah.
means it will be
Yeah.
long means it will be always like
Welche?
more like I'm talking about anything which is long, like beta. So it's always a combination of letters.
No, not necessary. Not
Okay.
necessary. For example, if you have words here, stehlen, stellen,
Correct.
Hülle, Hülle. So where is the extra E here? There's no extra E here. Huh?
Then how we will understand like we have to enforce more out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'll come to your question as soon as we finish the slides.
Sure.
Good, thank you. So the problem is there. How do we solve this problem? Okay. Because apart from that, wir haben auch diese Wörter mit H und fast dieselben Wörter ohne H. But the trick here is the H is spoken here also, but it's not heard because it has been stopped in the throat. When you pronounce a vowel and you utter the sound of a vowel, you are not letting your vocal cords vibrate. You're stopping them from vibrating, and then you produce the vowel. So, hal, ha, l, and the second one, al, al. the H is dropped, but your throat is ready to pronounce it but doesn't pronounce it. So this is a special kind of pronunciation with words which have H and no H. Hart, art, hoffen, offen, Hund, und, Kinn, in, hier, ihr. Don't confuse the two. Because that H is a silent sound. It's not ha. When I say ha, I'm actually using a after that. The sound produced by the throat, that is H. That sound of the air coming out from the throat is given by H. Is depicted by this alphabet H. So you see, there is a letter for each sound that our organs of the mouth produce, which is why H is called a silent letter. Right? There are plenty of examples. The one that you probably know very well is house, house, and then house. Heiß, ice. Hin, in. Hier, hier. So, die richtige Aussprache hilft uns dabei, uns besser zu verständigen, hilft uns dabei, besser zu kommunizieren. Probleme tauchen auf bei solchen Kombinationen. Oi, oi und dann diese Kombination von S, C und H. In dieser Sprache gibt es kein S-H-Kombination. There is no SH for sh as in English. The sh sound in German is always immer mit SCH. Schweiz, Schwester, Deutschland, with the T combined, Deutschland, it should be audible. Schweiz, not Schweiz. And there's a set at the end. Schweiz. Or here, eins. I and a IE is E. It is very important that you differentiate these two. Don't interchange them depending on your mood at that moment when you write a word. You can't change it. For example, the word mein und mean, they have two different meanings. There's a word called mean in German that exists. Misspell the word, you are given a wrong meaning. This is one of the easier sounds though. You just pronounce A und U zusammen. Audi, Auto, Automat, aus, raus. A-U, A-U, au, au, au. That sound should be familiar to us. When somebody hits you on the head, we always shout, now, ow. So it's not a difficult sound for us. Aber ein größeres Problem ist mit den Umlauten. Diese drei Umlautalphabeten, Umlautvokale, sind typisch für die Deutschen. They're very typical for German. Englisch hat 26 Alphabeten. Deutsch hat 26 plus diese drei. So A, E, I, O, U, 5 Vokale plus 3. Also 8 Vokale hat die deutsche Sprache. So how do we pronounce them? Und was ist der Unterschied hier? Ohne diese zwei Pünktchen oben, without these two dots, the word will become U, O, A. So U, O, A. The moment you put these two dots, it's a new alphabet. These are not beauty spots. These are not put to make the word look beautiful or your page look beautiful. But in fact, they are a new letter, a new alphabet. And the pronunciation will be different. Also das hier, O Umlaut, ist Fü, Ü, Fünf, Ü. Hier, O, E. Mächte, zwölf, Österreich. Österreich. Und auch hier, not A, sondern Ä. Don't confuse it with the Hindi A-I. Das ist nicht E, das ist Ä. Something similar to a sound that a goat would make. Meh, meh, meh. Also Ä. Sekretärin, Dänemark, Sänger. Ä. I don't know whether we would have the time to do the Satz accent or what accent. I can show that to you right now. Words have to be stressed differently. Sekretärin, the stress is here. Not Sekretärin, not Sekretärin, sondern Sekretärin. Dänemark, it's not Denmark. Just because you say Tärin at the end, don't make mark as your highlight. It should be here. Dänemark. Sänger. Ja, Sänger. Auch weiter, wie kann man das üben? Also, es gibt die sogenannten Zungenbrecher, tongue twisters. Almost every language in the world has these. German doesn't need them. As it is a tongue twisting language. But in spite of that, German also has some fun words and put together, strung together in a sentence. Some of them quite meaningless, but it's fun to practice pronunciation. You have learned the pronunciation of SCH. It's a sh. You pronounce the letter given here mit f. And then there is a letter following that f, that is E. Then there is a ER and S. Similarly, the next one, there's a Z at the end. And we learn the pronunciation of this letter, Z, or the Z, as ts. Pronounce it, Fritz. Not Fritz, not the Z sound, but silent, Fritz. So learn to read this. After you learn the sounds, learn to put them into practice. Read this tongue twisters. Fischers, Fritz, Fischer, Frischer, Fischer. Try to speak them fast. Speak slowly, speak them fast. Train your tongue. This is the Sprechtraining I talked to you about. Fischers, Fritz, Fischer, Frischer, Fischer. Frischer, Fischer, Fisch, Fischers, Fritz. Similarly, you'll find lots of them in the Internet. Es gibt viele Zungenbrecher. Nicht nur hier, sondern auch im Englischen. Whole lot. Bürsten mit schwarzen Borsten, Bürsten besser als Bürsten mit blauen Borsten. Du and O. See the difference that they are trying to show you here. Bürsten mit schwarzen Borsten, Bürsten besser als Bürsten mit blauen Borsten. Practicing her. Hinter Hansens Hasenhaus hängen 100 Hasen raus. 100 Hasen hängen raus, hinter Hansens Hasenhaus. So the H sound has been practiced. Here you're practicing the E sound. E. Wenn Fliegende fliegen, hinter Fliegenden fliegen, dann fliegen Fliegende fliegen, hinter Fliegenden fliegen her. E. It's not fliegen, it's fliegen. This is practice for the sound oo. There are exercises, there are sentences like these, words like these, some with audios on the internet. Je habt viel Materialien da. It's a change from your book, eine Abwechslung vom Buch. Und man lernt die richtige Aussprache durch solche Spaßübungen. Und am Ende, I'm almost in the end here, the table of phonetics, what are the sounds basically? I'm not including, this is only for the consonants. B, D, G. Lips are used here. And since they come out with a rush, they're called closes. They explode. Similarly, fricative sounds, because you're causing some friction. Silent. Here, wieder fricative. S, Z, sh, r, sh. And then you're using a nasal cavity. N, n. And then the L in the front. L, that's why it's called lateral. And then your vibrant, that's something that's vibrating, your R sound. So this is an overall view of the table and their definitions as to where they are produced. Both your lips are involved when you produce the sound with P, B or M. You can't produce it without touching your lips together. By touching your lips to your teeth, we pronounce the F and V. This is basically for English. The third one, apicodental, is not there in German. This is for English only, the TH. This is the sound. The. These. All these things aren't the sort of thing I would involve myself with. That's English, the way it's spoken by a native speaker. Und das zeigt mir auch, welche Artikulationsstelle gibt es. Und dann vielen Dank jetzt für deine Aufmerksamkeit. Thank you so much for your patience. You're being patient, listening to me and allowing me to speak on. Now, if you have questions, I'll do my best to satisfy your curiosity. So, I'm open to questions. Deutsch, English, Hindi.
Hello, sir.
Ja, so.
Ja, sir. Wie man das Wort Deutschland aussprechen?
Deutsch. Das ist Deutsch und dann Sch. Zusammen Deutschland. Ich fahre nach Deutschland, nicht Deutsch. Viele von uns sagen Deutsch. Das ist nicht Ch, sondern Sch. Sch, Shiva. Sch.
Darf ich, Sir?
Ja, mit ab.
Danke, Sir.
Sir, meine Frage ist es wichtig für richtige Aussprechen auf die gleiche Sprache zu denken? Wenn wir auf Englisch oder Hindi oder Muttersprache denken und dann übersetzen, vielleicht wir machen vielen Fehler. Was?
Amitabh, I'll give you a simple 3 words which are from English.
Yeah.
Okay, just 3 words. You have to tell me what these words are.
Yeah.
Goods Balbalat.
Nein, ich kann nicht.
Okay. Why not? This is English. Das ist doch Englisch. 3 words. Goods Balbalat.
Goose balbalat.
Huh.
Uh,
Who's balbalat?
De mainu?
You tell me. It's
Nine.
English. Three. I give you a hint. These are three words. These are English words. I'm not even giving them to you in German. These are three words in English. Who's balbalat? Now you know why pronunciation is important. Simple translation will not help you. If you mispronounce a word, then your meaning will change. Let me give you another drastic example. SIT. What is SIT as a verb?
Sit.
Sit.
Yeah.
Sit. So if I give you a sentence, yahan baith jao.
So, ish zaga
Oh,
of
yeah.
English, please sit
Yeah,
here.
English. Please sit here. Yeah, yahan baith jao, yahan baith jaiye, please sit here. Okay? Okay. But I suppose there are people in this country from a certain region, I don't want to name them, who have problems with the sound sir.
Yeah, understood. Was Sie meinen?
Right?
Yeah, Sie sagen sh auf sir, vielleicht.
Yeah. Hasn't the meaning changed?
Drastically and whole
Yes.
different.
So now you see why it is important to learn the Aussprache. Warum ist es so wichtig? Man spricht richtig aus.
Yeah.
So solche Fehler oder Missverständnisse könnten auch in der deutschen Sprache vorkommen, wenn man das Wort falsch ausspricht.
Yeah.
Noch Fragen? By the way, you wanted the solution to Goog's Balbalat?
Nein, Sir. Meine Frage war, dass wie können wir unsere Gewohnheit entwickeln, auf sehr Deutschsprache zu denken?
Ja, das ist eine gute Frage, Amitabh, sehr gut. Wenn man schon erwachsen ist, fällt es einem sehr schwer, die richtige Aussprache zu bekommen, zu lernen. Man lernt eine Aussprache sehr, sehr einfach und gut, als man ein Kind ist.
Ja, das stimmt.
As a child, you learn it much faster and better because your organs inside your mouth, your tongue, all the other mouth parts are not yet fully formulated. They're still flexible for you to produce the sound that you hear. But once you grow older, using only one language, your tongue and your other organs, they are now fixed to produce only that set of sounds. So it's very difficult to move out of that zone and produce a new sound in another language. The same example with sir and sh. Because I have grown up using sh all my life, from childhood till now. Now suddenly I'm asked to say sir. My tongue doesn't come to the front. It stops behind my teeth and says sh. Shar. Shar. Where are you, Shar? So for example, here, if I look at the screen in front of me, I see Shonu here. I don't see Sonu. Shonu is here. So it's not easy at an adult stage, but the human mind is all powerful. You have to train this here. What is the tongue after all? It's a muscle. And what controls the muscle? The mind. Tell your mind to bring the tongue to the front. Bring it to the front. And then put it close to the teeth. Sir. Close your lips. Open them slightly. First close them. Put your tongue between your teeth. Open your lips. Blow out. Sit. sit, sit, seat, sit, 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 seat. Pronounce other words. Seaty, not sheety. Sheety बजानी आती है? Sheety क्या होता है? Seaty होता है. Seaty बजाओ. Imagine that new song which is the hit, supposedly a hit, मुझे मालूम नहीं है, but सुना है कि hit है. Seaty बजाई लो. Imagine that song going as shitty बजाई लो. So you have to train yourself. That's deswegen habe ich dann diese Dias gezeigt. I showed you that slide right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Hörtraining und Sprechtraining. Die beiden brauchen wir. Listen to the sound carefully and then try to imitate it. See where is it being produced. And then try to imitate it. So, as an answer to your question, it's challenging but doable. It'll take time, but doable, yes.
Ja, Sir, verstanden. Vielen Dank.
Aber heute auf morgen geht es nicht. Also so geht es nicht. Es gibt keinen Zauber hier. No magic wand. Practice.
Ja, genau.
Noch Fragen?
Sir, there was one question about the sound which we say the long word or a long letter where we are using. So how we are going to use that? Like you said, stehen and stain, stehlen,
Yeah.
and let's say bitte, bitte.
Yeah.
So, sir, the problem is like when we hear, it's like look like we are hearing it's a
That's it,
IE,
sir.
but
Yeah.
it can be EI also.
No, EI is always I.
Yeah. So, but sir, when we speak, let's say bitte, which is like BITTE, and when we say BIETE, there also one word which we use.
Yeah.
So how we are going to intercede? Like how we are going to differentiate?
Let me give you an example from Hindi. How many vowels do we have in Hindi?
It's about.
Can you call them out?
E, E, U, U,
Right. So
E,
you have good. So you have a short vowel and a long vowel.
Correct.
I, U,
E.
U.
Yep.
But European languages don't have this differentiation. The differentiation is in the word itself.
Okay.
So when you learn the word, you will learn whether the vowel is short, is it I or is it E. So even initially in Hindi, we do have problems with the spellings.
Yeah.
Is it a pani ka chita या pani ka cheetah?
Pani ka cheetah.
So is it a long E or is it a short E?
The long E.
Right. So we learnt it with the word, na?
Yeah.
So similarly in German also, you learn the word along with its pronunciation. Not just the word. You see the word in front of you. Oh, इसका मतलब क्या है? Friend से पूछ लिया या teacher से पूछ लिया. Hello, sir. Entschuldigen Sie, ich verstehe das nicht. And the teacher gives you the example or the meaning. Don't blindly go there. You ask the teacher, bitte, wie spreche ich das Wort aus? How do I pronounce the word aussprechen? To speak out, to speak aloud, to pronounce. उसका उच्चारण क्या है?
So normally what I'll do, I'll follow like whenever the dictionary, I used to hear the sound as well.
That's good. That's good. But I don't know what
do like
dictionary
that.
it is. You have to stick to a standard German dictionary. Don't use a dictionary written by an Englishman or an American or somebody else.
No, I'm following dict.cc.
Yeah, to a certain extent it's good. But there are some variations I found in that dictionary. But be careful.
Okay.
Always double check with some other dictionary.
Any other dictionary can you say, sir?
Duden, D-U-D-E-N.
Okay, Duden.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure, sir. Thank you.
Bitte,
Vielen
gern
Dank.
geschehen, gern geschehen. Noch Fragen? You haven't still told me what were the 3 words I told you in English when Amitabh asked me that question. Goods Valvalat.
Sir, I am waiting for.
It's goods valuable at. Goods valuable at a certain rate or whatever. Goods, goods valuable, to put a value onto them, to put a rate on them, to put a price on them, valuable at 80. Goods valuable at.
The speed was too much, that's why it was not understandable.
Whatever the reason, is it the correct pronunciation? Forget the speed. Bhalbalat.
No, but it's a valuable. It's like we speak like that.
No,
So
we
it's
don't.
a valuable.
We say valuable. We say valuable. We don't say balbal.
No.
So instead of a V, I've used a B sound.
Yeah, but it is not understandable.
What if I ask you what is the volume?
Volume.
Right.
Because we understand like that, but if you go in other countries, like if you go to Saudi, they use P as a B, police, not police.
Each word, that word police is international, by the way. Huh? It's used in many languages. But in Hindi, it's normally police. Then there is police. In German, it's Polizei or a Polizist. Right, so it varies. Some are international words. So to a certain extent, you can get away with that slight mispronunciation. But what about germs, which are words which are specific to that language? For example, the advantage, sorry, Yash, the advantage in German is you pronounce what you see in front of you. So once you have learned the alphabet, A, B, B, C, S, D, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and so on, and then you come to this word O, that's just Ima O. There is no other pronunciation to the letter O. So your city of, which is the capital of the UK, is London, London, not London. If you're saying London, why did you write L-O? It should be L-U or L-A. English doesn't have a uniformity in pronunciation. F-A-L-L. How do you pronounce the word in English? F-A-L-L.
Pronounce fall.
Fall. Fall. Why should it be O when you're writing A? And in school, you learn A for apple, A. So why is it not fall? Why is B-A-L-L ball? Why is it not ball? A for apple is what I was told. I was not told A is for apple. In school, I was taught A means apple. The teacher never said apple. Had she said apple, I would have learned B-A-L-L apple, ball. F-A-L-L, fall, apple. The sounds are different. So English that way is extremely difficult to learn to master because the sounds don't match. In German, you pronounce whatever is written in front of you. P-S-Y-C-H-O-L-O-G-I-E is psychologie. Psychology. You say psychology in English, but don't pronounce a P. You write it with a P, but you don't pronounce the P. Then why write it with a P? Oh, there is a reason for that, but let's not go into that. As lay people, let's argue it from that point of view. When it's not pronounced, why write it? Why not simply SY, psychology? Why should it be a SYCH? Why can't we have a SYK? Psychology. Simpler. But it's a PSYCHOLOGIE. Or Y in English, IE in German. So what you see in front of you, pronounce it. P and S together, psa, 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 psa. Psychology. The letter Y is pronounced as ypsilon, E. So transfer that sound, E. P, S, E, psi, 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 psi. Psychology. So German is that way easier in terms of Aussprache. Be true to what you have learned as a beginner with the letter and the sound. A, B, C, D, A. The E is always an A. F, G, H, E. The letter I is pronounced as E. Then comes J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. V, the letter V is fur sound. V, V, W, X, Y, Z. T and S together. Utsav. So Z is pronounced with a ts. Sight. Sight, not zeit. So the original pronunciation is to be maintained when you speak German. Also das muss man beibehalten. Was man schon im A1 gelernt hat, muss beibehalten werden. Dann ist die deutsche Aussprache kein Problem. Ja, was ein Problem ist, ist dann auch die Intonation. Normally, in German, there are two kinds of intonation in a sentence. As a brief thing, I think we have overshot the time, well over the time. Einmal steigende Intonation, it rises at the end of the sentence. Einmal fallende. Two basic things. Keep this in mind. Die steigende Intonation ist bei Fragen. Welche Fragen? Entscheidungsfragen, which begin with a verb. Kommst du mit? Kommst du mit? Goes up. But if I use the same question with a W question word, any W, wann, woher, wohin, wie, was, wen, wem, any W question, the tone doesn't go up but falls at the end. Woher kommen Sie? Woher kommen Sie? Not woher kommen Sie? Woher kommen Sie? So steigende Intonation bei Fragen. Sonst fallende. Ich gehe nach Haus. Ich gehe nach Haus. Not ich gehe nach Haus. Ich gehe nach Haus. Make sure it falls at the end. These are the two basic intonation patterns.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, in English language, why people include every language like Greek or maybe more language word they use in a English language? Sometimes we confuse like we pronounce in English or maybe another language. So it's difficult. Like,
Do you have an example?
no, I don't remember that word, but when I read the book, so at that time I faced like in an English novel book they used other language word also.
Right. What the Britishers have done, or the English people have done, is that they had a very good navy, historically speaking. So they went all over the world in their ships. Whichever country they went to, they went as friends, as business people, as traders, and then occupied that country. Naturally, being in that country, they not only did trade and exploited that country, but also took back a few words from that country back to their own country and included that in their language. Many words they could not pronounce. So some pronunciation they changed so that it fit into the English and their mouths, that they could pronounce it. I'll give you a couple of examples very quickly. Then they also borrowed words from French and other languages because their own language did not have enough vocabulary to describe what they saw outside. So they used that word from there to describe it. Since they did not have that word in their own language, they said, let us use the same word as it is pronounced by those people. We will pronounce that as close as possible. For example, my car is parked in the garage. I have a garage at home and my car is parked in the garage, not garage.
Okay.
It's garage because the word comes from French. Je. What are you by profession? Oh, I work for the Times of India. I'm a journalist. Je. Not je. Hindi it is journalist. But the correct pronunciation is je. Journalist. As example. Ha, Madhuri.
Yeah, so how can we identify, like,
You have to
sometimes
learn. If it's a foreign word, you just have to look up the dictionary and learn the pronunciation. English that way is much more tricky.
yeah,
Yeah, especially with French words. VASE, in which you put your flowers. Almost all of us have this at home, isn't it? Into which you put all your flowers, cut flowers and put them in the VASE. What is the VASE? How will you pronounce it?
Was.
yeah,
That's German. That's
was.
yeah, you have to say flower vase, but actually many of us mispronounce it and say vase, flower vase.
Okay.
Right? TOWEL. It's what you use every morning, all of us.
Towel.
Towel.
Towel. It's not towel, it's towel. Where's my towel? I put it up here yesterday. I don't see it on the line anymore. So where's my towel? The other thing that we are worried about most of the time in the rainy season and otherwise also is what we don't get sometimes for long periods. POWER.
Power.
9. Power. I don't have power today at home. There's been a power cut. Power cut, not power cut.
R.
So they have different rules for their pronunciation. So there's another word that has come from French which is used very much in English, CAFE.
Cuff.
Cafe. So you know the French pronunciation. But have you seen the spelling in Hindi in many places in India?
Cafe.
Kef.
Yeah.
In Hindi it is written as kef. Ka ke upla ek hi matra uske baad fa. Kef.
Yeah, cafe.
But how many people in India know it's a French word? It should be pronounced as cafe. And in French, the word cafe actually means coffee, not the place where it's being consumed.
Yeah, right.
Right? So it varies from place to place. So the British not only changed the words in their language, they also changed it in the country they were in. For example, we used to have a town in South India called Ooty. It's a hill station. Suna hoga shayad.
Yes, sir.
So, and they called it, oh, superb, nice place. They called it Ootacamund. They made the spelling Ootacamund, Ootacamund. But they changed the original spelling and the pronunciation because they could not pronounce the word Uttagamandalam. It's now being changed back to the original spelling. It's called Udagamandalam. The same thing happened to the capital of Kerala. They could not pronounce the original name, so they changed it to Trivandrum.
Okay.
After many years, today, Trivandrum is now called Thiruvananthapuram. That was the original name. But they just could not pronounce it. Thiruvananthapuram. And they also borrowed words from Indian languages. The word khaki. You know the word khaki, right?
Yeah.
Khaki uniform. It's part of English language taken from India. Veranda was from India. Bungalow, which they use in English and call it bungalow. I have a bungalow back there. It's from Bangla.
And sir, chai also
Yeah.
Chinese is come
Chai is from India. The word is from India. The origin of chai is in China. But the word is from India, chai.
Okay.
The same thing goes for words like kamarband. Kamarband is what is worn by ladies here, isn't it? You'll see them normally at weddings.
Yeah.
So that same word has gone into English now. It's called kamarband. Cummerbund. Kamarband. So they have borrowed words. So that way English language has a huge vocabulary thanks to their taking words from other languages and putting them into their language. That way it's good. But the problem with the words is many English people themselves do not know how to pronounce these words.
Then why they put?
Because they don't have an equivalent for that word in other language.
Okay.
Look at Indian languages. Do you know the word station? S-T-A-T-I-O-N?
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Which language is it from in India?
Sliced of Sanskrit Sthanak.
Amitabh, ढूंढते रह जाओगे as that ad for the soap goes. ढूंढते रह जाओगे. The word station has come from English. India में रेलवे कहाँ था? The Britishers brought it to India in 1853.
Yeah.
Kolkata, right, sir?
Nine, Thane.
Mumbai to Thane.
Thane.
First railway line, 1853, if I'm not wrong. So they brought this word railway. Happily, हम लोग आज भी use करते हैं rail. Bharatiya rail. The word rail is not an Indian word. तो हम लोगों ने भी लिया है वहाँ से. We talk about a train. We don't say lo patgamini. We talk of station. We talk of is station. We talk about station. But the word is still station. We have pronounced it according to our region where we are. So these borrowings do happen. It's very, very common. Since we are talking about German and English, Germans don't have so many borrowings. But right now, they have started borrowing from English. And a new language has evolved in Germany called Denglish. So there are words like jeans, computer, mouse. These words have now come into German language. Laptop. So that is how language is being considered and thought to be a living being. It grows. Anything that grows is alive. And language is growing. There are new words added every year. The ones that are not used are forgotten, dropped. They become archaic. Before 1940, yeah.
So you mean we can spot from dictionary if we don't know the word from other language they put. So
Yes.
dictionary only the one spot option, so we can see there, right?
Yeah. So a good dictionary will also give you the history of the word as to where it came from and as to how it is pronounced.
Okay.
So that you have to check. Now with online dictionaries, you have more options. So do check as to where it comes from.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other doubts? Anything else you would like to know?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, as you say that how to pronounce my name, Sonu, sir, can you again tell?
Yeah, Sonu is Sonu for me. Sir, Sonu. Not Shonu. Because I can pronounce Sa and Sh separately.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
example, I see there's a Jaya is here, Jaya Saini. A German will not be able to pronounce Jaya Saini. She'll be Yaya. The J for a German is Ya. They just cannot pronounce this J. Very difficult for them. If you force them to pronounce it correctly, they'll probably say Jaya Saini, Jaya. But not J as she writes her name.
So it is something like in region, uh, like I belong to Jharkhand, or there are like PR region and all. So they call like Sadi, not Shadi.
That's true. So that is what, as learners of German now, we consciously learn the sound and imitate it so that we don't make this mistake.
That is what.
So we should be aware. That was what I had shown you in one of the earlier slides, that we compare and then imitate. Okay, in this language it is like this, in this language it is like this. So I have a comparison. So I should not mispronounce this word. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other doubts? Anyone?
So anything we want to know, sir? You want to give any tips apart from that, like for both language, English and German?
Practice. Practice speaking with a friend. Remember, when you learn to speak or you want to speak, you need a partner. You can't stand in front of a mirror like Amitabh Bachchan and come up with a solo dialogue. You're only speaking to your reflection. The reflection will not answer you back.
Okay.
So you need a partner to speak to. One platform is this Saturday meeting. To speak, get a response. The more you speak, the better you will learn how to speak. You learn more vocabulary. You'll be listening to different accents. And at the same time, gain knowledge about whatever the topic is.
Yeah,
So it's one way. The other one is to speak to a good friend. Maybe here, there's somebody here with whom you are in contact. Don't chat. Don't use WhatsApp. Don't use Telegram or Signal. Don't use Instagram. Speak. Call up once a day. Let the friend call you up once a day. Say 10 minutes, we will talk in German. We will talk in English. It will help you with your pronunciation also.
So if we don't have a partner, so what can we do?
Speak aloud. So at least you can hear yourself speak and see if you're going wrong. Check where you're going wrong.
Okay.
Record your voice. Record your.
That's
speaking.
one option. Yes, yes. Suppose you don't have a recording option. At least you can listen and then still find out. No?
Yeah.
I do that. That's why I'm suggesting.
That's excellent. Well done, Yash. That's well done. When you play back the recording, compare it with the sounds of that word online.
Okay.
The other thing, watch films, not only for enjoyment, but also for the language. Don't watch
Even
American
we
films.
have a facility.
Don't watch American films. Their accent is terrible.
Even we have a facility where we are getting more storybooks from German language. Why we not
Audio,
doing that?
audio,
Yeah.
audio.
Yes, correct. Audio one.
Yeah, audio ones are good. You have to listen to it. Listen, not read. Reading may increase your vocabulary, but it won't increase your speaking capacity. So audio books is what you need. Listen to the stories. Listen to the way the pronunciation is done. Listen to the rhythm of the language. Listen to the music in the language. How is it being pronounced? How is it being uttered?
Okay.
Right? I can see now Dave has made an entry right in front. So obviously he is fed up.
No,
Or he
no,
wants,
no,
he wants to be fed up.
no, no, no. Actually,
Ja,
no.
das ist schon Mittagszeit. Also zu Mittag soll oder möchte essen.
Also, ich habe die ganze Zeit eigentlich mitgehört, natürlich. Also,
Und nicht, ja, mitgehört und auch mitgegessen? Nein.
ja, genau. Also, woher wissen Sie das? Ja, richtig. Das war auch so. Aber das war wirklich toll. Also, diese Weise, wenn wir immer wieder betreut werden, dann sind wir wirklich natürlich überglücklich. So nett von Ihnen, dass Sie.
Nett von dir, also Dave, sehr, sehr nett von dir,
Ja,
solche
bitteschön.
netten Worte für mich zu haben. Das ist immer ein Vergnügen für mich, bei dir hier zu sein und bei allen diesen Studenten hier zu sein.
Dann werden wir ja immer wieder Sie erreichen, natürlich.
Ich bin immer da.
Danke sehr. Also Freunde, wir haben eigentlich schon eine Vorlesung und ich bin sicher, dass wir viel gelernt haben. Ja? Und wir werden immer wieder. Vielen lieben Dank. Also alle waren sehr begeistert und haben auch ja viele Fragen gestellt. Das war auch sehr toll. Und dann kann man auch also das Gefühl haben, dass alle interessiert sind. Ja.
Ja, das schon, das schon.
Und dann der Lehrer vergisst auch. Ja, also, ja, wenn immer neue Fragen kommen, dann will man weiter erklären. Das ist ja auch gut so. Dann, wir treffen natürlich wieder, immer wieder. Freunde,
Ja,
vielen lieben Dank. Und
Das ist wunderbar, Sir. Vielen Dank.
Gern geschehen.
Vielen Dank, Sir.
Vielen lieben Dank, Sir. Das war
Gern
sehr
geschehen,
toll
gern
und sehr
geschehen.
informativ.
wirklich.
So, einige Studenten, die ich kenne, sind auch hier. Also Jaya und Shubham und Anil war da und Rina war auch hier.
Ja.
Also einige dieser Studenten kenne ich ja schon.
Ja.
Sie waren auch da und ich freue mich sehr, die hier zu sehen und die anderen kennenzulernen. Also jetzt verabschiede ich mich von euch allen. Alles Gute, bleibt gut, bleibt gesund, bleibt munter und bleibt zu Hause. Bitte.
Klar, klar. Und kommt bitte online immer wieder. Ja.
Jawohl. So, tschüss dann.
Ja.
Ciao.
Dankeschön.
Ciao, Sir.
Bis
Tschüss.
nächstes Mal.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Ciao.